In the heart of New York City, beneath the dazzling lights of Manhattan's largest stadium, tens of thousands gathered from diverse faiths and cultures. The air was thick with anticipation, not for a concert or a game, but a historic debate announced by Eleanor Gray, a renowned businesswoman and outspoken atheist billionaire. Dressed in an elegant black gown and shining heels, Eleanor's voice echoed through state-of-the-art microphones declaring, "I am Eleanor Gray, and today I issue the greatest challenge of my life. Prove to me the existence of God with rational and scientific evidence, and I will award you $1 billion." Silence swallowed the crowd. Everyone stared at her in shock and confusion. She smirked. "If you all fail, the world will know your faith is an illusion, that God is nothing but a figment of weak minds." Whispers erupted, some lowering their heads, others silently praying to the skies, overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenge and the woman who wielded fortune, influence, and media might. Minutes passed without a response. Eleanor's triumphant smile widened as she proclaimed, "See, no one dares to step forward, perhaps because you know your God is mere mythology." Laughter broke from her followers while sorrow darkened the faces of believers. Suddenly, from the back rows, an elderly man stood slowly. Wearing a faded simple shirt and worn pants, his white hair and slightly bent back hid a shining resolve in his eyes. His name was Yusuf Ali, a poor immigrant who made a humble living scavenging waste. He came to New York only to visit his grandson attending university. With steady steps, Yusuf approached the stage. Curiosity rippled through the crowd as murmurs questioned, "Who is this old man?" Another whispered, "A simple poor man surrounded by an unexpected aura of respect." Hearts sensed something extraordinary was about to unfold. Calm and peaceful, Yusuf met Eleanor's gaze without fear. With a slightly trembling hand, he took the microphone and said, "I am a poor man with no wealth or status, but I believe God exists. Allow me to explain why." Eleanor scoffed. "Serious? A garbage collector trying to prove God's existence?" Yusuf smiled softly. "Value is not in clothes or money, but in truth. Today we will see who truly holds it." The stadium erupted in applause. The once silent arena vibrated with enthusiasm. This was the start of an intellectual battle poised to change lives. Standing before the vast assembly, Yusuf was bathed in spotlight and cheers. Eleanor's eyes bore into him coldly, seeing in him a golden opportunity to crush any remaining faith before millions. Raising her brow, she mocked, "Do you really think you can debate me? You are an uneducated old man. I've studied at the finest universities and own the largest companies." Yusuf replied gently, "You may be richer than me in knowledge and money, but that does not make you wealthier in faith or wisdom. God looks not at appearances, but at hearts." Eleanor flared, disguising it quickly with composure. She fired her first question loudly. "If God exists, why does he allow evil and suffering? Why do children starve, wars rage, and diseases spread? Is this justice?" A hush fell. Some nodded solemnly, seeing it as a question no one could answer. An elderly woman murmured, "Many have asked this over the ages." Unwavering, Yusuf looked to the crowd, then to Eleanor. "Imagine a small child learning to walk. When the child falls, do you pick them up every time? Or do you let them fall and hurt a little so they learn to rise stronger?" Eleanor lost her composure for a moment. The crowd gasped. He continued, "God does not abandon us in suffering, but sometimes allows us to fall so we may learn, grow closer to him. Without sorrow, how would we appreciate joy? Without pain, how could we value health?" Tears flowed among the front rows. An elderly man whispered, "Profound words. Yusuf added, "Suffering is not proof of God's absence, but a means for growth, cooperation, and patience. As a wise man once said, light has no meaning without the surrounding darkness." Eleanor paused, concealing her unease, then retorted, "This is poetic metaphor, not scientific proof." Yusuf gently smiled. "Sometimes metaphors help us grasp what our limited minds cannot. But if you want scientific proof, I have that too." The crowd cheered warmly. Yusuf stood firm like an unshakable mountain amid storms, while Eleanor fought to regain her fading confidence. Taking a deep breath, Yusuf faced thousands with calm resolve. The tension returned as Eleanor raised her voice again. "If you believe in God, show me scientific evidence. Scientists say the universe began with the Big Bang. Can you prove a divine hand behind this explosion?" Whispers filled the air. Some puzzled, others doubted Yusuf's steadiness. Eleanor's cold smile promised a crushing blow. Yusuf stepped forward, gripping the microphone. "Yes, scientists say the universe began with a great explosion, but ask yourself, can such a massive event happen without a cause? Can something arise from nothing without reason or creator?" The crowd held its breath. Yusuf's voice carried conviction. "Even the most basic law of physics says every effect has a cause. How could a universe-sized event lack a cause? The force behind the Big Bang is not matter or chance, but the will of a wise creator." Applause roared. Voices hailed him. A young man shouted, "Everything has a cause." Eleanor's forced smile faltered. Yusuf continued, "Science does not negate God, but leads us to question origins. If the universe has a beginning, all beginnings require a maker. That maker is God." He added softly, "Scientists themselves ask why the Big Bang happened. What ignited it? They have no final answer, but we do. That force is God, the first creator." Cheers swelled. Eleanor challenged, "But evolution shows life formed naturally over millions of years, without a divine hand." Yusuf anticipated this, responding calmly, "Evolution does not deny God, but can be his tool to create life gradually. God need not craft everything instantly, but may choose to create with wisdom through natural laws." Raising his hand skyward, he explained, "Evolution or any scientific theory cannot reveal who designed the plan. A plan presupposes a planner, and that planner is God." Applause erupted again as many rose to their feet. The moment was historic. Eleanor's tone weakened. Inner questions answered before spoken words. She stepped forward, anger mingling with confusion. "If God exists, why doesn't he show himself clearly? Why doesn't he come here now to prove it?" The crowd murmured in agreement. Some worried Yusuf might falter. Smiling warmly, Yusuf replied, "God gave us the greatest gift, freedom. Freedom to believe or not, to seek or ignore. If God revealed himself visibly all the time, faith would cease to be a choice." The crowd was silent, absorbing the truth, as if cold rain in a desert. He added, "God wants our faith from conviction, not fear. So, he leaves signs everywhere, in the starry sky, in our hearts, in love science can't measure." Tears welled up among women at the front. A young man raised his hand, shouting, "God is everywhere." Eleanor's voice faltered. "That's just personal faith. No proof." Yusuf gently said, "Can every reality be measured? Can love be seen under a microscope? Can a mother's care be calculated? No." He smiled. "Yet love, mercy, hope, they are real and the foundation of life. Faith in God is felt by the heart beyond formulas." Deep silence fell. Cameras captured tearful faces, unwilling to blink. He said, God does not need to appear in human form to prove himself. His presence shows in life's details, in thoughtful minds, loving souls, and the universe's precise order impossible by chance. The crowd applauded as some stood, while Eleanor sat quietly, her armor cracked. She asked, "If God lets us choose, what about those with no evidence, born where God's name is never spoken?" Yusuf smiled. God wrongs no one. Each soul sees what they can comprehend, words, events, questions. Those who sincerely seek will find him. Those who close their hearts won't see, even before their eyes. More applause. Yusuf's words comforted many. As silence returned, Eleanor softened. But why do people differ so much in faith? Why do some deny God? Yusuf's gaze was full of compassion, because God never intended forced belief. He desires free faith. Those who open their hearts find evidence everywhere. Those who close them remain blind. The audience rose again, moved. Eleanor's voice trembled as she spoke. "If God is as you say, why didn't I ever feel him? Why didn't he prove himself to me?" Yusuf answered gently. "Perhaps because you never truly searched. God doesn't hide, but waits for hearts to open. In moments of truth and brokenness, something inside speaks. That is the voice of innate faith. God whispers, not shouts." He urged, "Seek him with your heart, not just your mind. You will find him." Cheers rose as a young girl approached holding her mother's hand, asking innocent, "Uncle, does God love us even when we are small?" Yusuf bent, stroking her head. "God loves you more than your mother ever could. You pure hearts are closest to his mercy." The crowd smiled tenderly. Yusuf spoke to all. Faith needs no age or degree, only a sincere heart. Eleanor, humbled, whispered, "Yusuf, I thought I had everything, wealth, fame, reason, but I lacked peace." Yusuf replied, "Only remembrance of God calms the heart. None knows best but he." Tears streamed down Eleanor's face. "Do you hear me, Lord? I'm tired of denial. If you're real, accept me now." The crowd sobbed and praised. Cameras broadcasted in every home a woman who once declared war on faith, now whispering her first prayer ever. Yusuf closed his eyes, raised hands. "Lord, guide her and all who listen. Let today be their new beginning." This was no ordinary debate. It was a revival of souls, a return of lost spirits. The stadium echoed only with weeping and prayer, as if a massive congregation united in silent worship. Eleanor sat crying, shedding years of pride, estrangement, and denial. Yusuf sat beside her, whispering, "Crying in God's presence is courage, not weakness." Many live stubbornly, lacking that moment of truth. Eleanor looked up. "I feel reborn, but scared. Of myself, my past, others, of reverting." Yusuf smiled. "That fear is natural but fades. Once God accepts your heart, he never rejects it. When he helps you, he never leaves." He helped her to stand. The crowd rose in respect, not for Eleanor the billionaire, but for Eleanor the humbled soul. She raised the microphone, voice quivering. "People, I am not perfect. I was a liar to you and myself. I thought science and logic could replace faith. But I was running away." The crowd fell silent. She continued, "Yusuf Ali taught me more than God. He taught me about myself. Faith needs neither money nor power, but honesty. Today I ask God to guide and strengthen me." Cheers and tears exploded. Some knelt, others hugged loved ones, capturing a moment to cherish forever. Unexpectedly, an organizer brought a golden box to the stage. Opening it, he said, "Here is the $1 billion promised to Mr. Yusuf." Yusuf smiled kindly, closing the box. I did not come for money, but for a word. I'm no scholar, preacher, or orator, just a poor man rich in faith. He turned to Eleanor. The real billion is this moment, the return, the transformation. Money fades, faith remains. The crowd roared. Yusuf was no longer poor. He was the richest man there, rich in belief, mercy, and truth. Eleanor stood beside him, looking at him like a woman seeing her newly awakened heart for the first time. The closing was greater than anyone expected. Rejecting the billion, Yusuf left quietly the next day, returning to simple life, collecting recyclables, reading old books, smiling at memories of that night. In a quiet New York park away from media frenzy, he was seen one morning giving bread to a homeless man, whispering, "God be with you, don't lose hope." So ended the tale. But it was no ending. It was a beginning. Eleanor's journey to light, thousands of souls transformed, a new understanding that truth needs no wealth or power, only a heart sincerely seeking it. Yusuf Ali was no superhero, just a humble man whose faith became a miracle named later the Night of the Billion and the Tear of Faith. And far away in Japan, during the celebration of the Prophet's birth, thousands embraced Islam, moved by the message that spread like wildfire from that unforgettable night.